Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Trust that all is well with all of you. Hello, February. I don't want to start saying nothing, but we are in February. That's all I will say. So today, I trust that all is well with all of you. I hope that you would have had a relaxing, rejuvenating, revitalizing weekend, that you would have had some time to relax, rest, recuperate, reset, to come and jump into this new month with your feet running, your feet hitting the ground going. I hope that you are well and that you are mentally, emotionally, financially, psychologically, spiritually, physically, mentally well. I hope that all is well with all of you. So today, we're still in Timothy. We're still in Timothy. So we're in Timothy chapter 4, and I'm reading from verses 5 to 8. Paul made a statement that really, so I'll read it before I jump in. So in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 5 to 8, it says, "But you keep your head in all situations. Endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry. For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time of my departure is near." So like Paul knew he was going to die. Now there's the part. "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is laid up for me," this version says, this is the NIV, "now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award me on that day. And not only me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." Who tell you? This was my thought. Who tell you that you had that waiting there? And I just thought to myself, am I confident at this moment in time, like Paul, to say, God will award to me on that day a crown of righteousness? Paul was that confident because Paul knew the life, how he lived out his Christianity, how he modeled it for others to see. Paul knew that I would have stuck. If this is the line, I was on it. I didn't toe the line. I was on the line of doing what is acceptable, good and acceptable. I stayed there. I lined there, I walked there, I endured persecution. Like he said, my life was poured out as a result. I knew that I would have finished my course well. And I thought about, like with all of us, hopefully all of us looking on would have gone through school and did exams based on the study that you put in, based on the questions that came, and the information that you put out on that paper. You just knew I pass. And I think I passed very well because of how well I did on that paper. Paul wrote the exam of life. Based on how well he lived out his life, he knew I did a good job. When it came to the master class of life, I did all the exams well. According to the Nigerians, well. And I thought to myself, how confident are you, Melina, based on the life that you are living currently, that you know if, like he said here, his departure was soon. He knew my departure was near. So how well if your departure, God forbid, was tomorrow, next week, based on how you have lived your life thus far, could you say that I have lived my life so well that I know there's stored up for me a crown of righteousness based on how I live out my life? That's my question to us. Are we confident enough? And if you're not confident, what are you going to do? To put yourself in the same position like Paul. To be confident enough to know that based on how I walked out my Christianity, there is laid up for me. There is in store for me a crown of righteousness waiting. Because I know how I live my life. I know how I walk out my Christianity. I know how I love when it was painful. I know how I forgive when it was difficult. I know what I put in this course. This course called Christianity 101. I just want to encourage us to, as I would have done last month, on this first Monday of February, to live your life in such a way that you can confidently boast in the fact that based on my lifestyle, based on my worship, based on how I esteem the brethren, based on how I love the unlovable, based on how I walked out this word, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness because of how I lived, because of how I modeled Christianity for others, because of the lives that I changed based on my example. I really want to encourage us to seek to be that confident. Like, let us work on being that confident in how we live out our Christianity so that we could say confidently, I am sure that there's laid up for me a crown. And it is as a result of how I lived out, modeled my Christianity. So that's my February 1st Monday encouragement for us. Let's model so well that our confidence, people might think, you real cocky. No, I know what I did this course. I did this course and I know the studies, I know the effort, I know the trials, I know what I put into this course. And so you walk out of you drop the mic and you walk out of the room because you just know. I know. You could pack away your pens and your pencils and your highlighters because you would have done well on that test paper, on that exam, every single exam that you face, every test, every trial. You're confident. Lord, some I didn't pass with an A. Some I passed with a C. Some I passed with a B. But I know based on how I did this course, how I lived my life, how I modeled, how I responded to your word, how I obeyed, how I resisted temptation, how I resisted sin, how I was obedient. Based on that, I know that there is stored up for me. I just want to encourage us to get to that place, get to that point, like Paul, to be that confident. So until next time, have an amazing week.